So to continue on from where we were, it was the bottom of page 216 for me, and we'll see how we go with this, because the human reproductive system, it's chunky, and while I've set homework questions that are going to ping, if I decide that I'm exhausted and you look exhausted, then we'll cut this short. We have the time in terms of, because this is our last topic, so it's not like we won't be finished before you say your leaving cert. So we start with the uterus. So we said it is, I don't think we've done this, it is roughly the size of a female fist when it's not in use. It's the outer wall is involuntary muscle, so this means that we can't physically control it. It's under our unconscious control.
Like the diaphragm and
Yep, essentially. The inner lining is the endometrium, so that is essentially all of the blood vessels, that layer. And from puberty onwards in the female, it is going to thicken, so it gets more cells, more blood vessels, and that is obviously in preparation for you're going to get pregnant that particular month. So every month it does that preparation for you. Then you have the cervix, which separates the uterus from the vagina. And for females, I think it is from the age of 25 now, you get a cervical smear from the state, and you really need to make sure you get it, for starters, because cervical cells, if they become cancerous, it can be very, very quick, and you are entitled to that smear, so you should do it. So I think we had this involuntary muscle, endometrium, thickens with cells and blood vessels to nourish, and then we have something. Excuse me. Okay, so the only little bit left in terms of just description of the parts is the vagina. So again, another muscular tube, and its job is to allow sperm in and babies out. The mucus that's produced there, as well as can also help the sperm to get where they need to go, but it also has kind of like this enzymes in your saliva that kill pathogens. So again, you have them there as well. So the female body actually sees sperm as an invader. It recognizes that it is not, doesn't have the same DNA as it, and just sees it as something that it needs to destroy.
Is that another reason why it's not a guarantee for pregnancy?
Well,
Like
that's
the immune system just kills it off.
Exactly. So literally the white blood cells, remember we've talked about when we did blood and we talked about phagocytosis, the guys that are like Pac-Man, they do the exact same thing as they are going up through the uterus. The white blood cells there literally grab them, ingest them. So the ones that actually get to the egg, they are certainly the fittest or best adapted for that particular job. Okay, so then on the top of page 217, you just have your little summary table. Matching part to function. Okay, you all look good. So the first thing that we're going to look at is the ovary. So that's going to go into your little table. And the job of the ovary is to make the egg. But for females, we get two hormones, estrogen and progesterone.
Estrogen is spelled with an O?
Estrogen is spelled with an O. Should go help Andrew. Excuse me. Why won't you move? Nope. Okay, give me a second. Still want to play ball, so I gotta help Andrew. Okay, so after that, the next one that we're going to look at is the fallopian tube. So it catches the egg, it transports the egg, and it is the site of fertilization. Okay. Okay, so from there then we go to the uterus. So it has implantation, it holds the fetus, the developing fetus, and your placenta will form there. So I don't know what Andrew is up to, but it's trying very hard to find us. Lads, did you find your lesson link in your calendar for this? Yeah, thanks, Van. Okay. Poor Andrew is not having a good time. Okay, the last one is just the vagina. So vagina leaves sperm in and leaves babies out. So pause if you need to include that. I'm just going to move on. We've gone through this already. So in terms of the female hormones that we're going to talk about specifically for females are estrogen and progesterone. We've said estrogen comes from estrus, so this is to do with egg production. And progesterone comes from the word progestation, so this is what, keeps a female pregnant, so it's progestation. And when you get contraceptive pills, you will get different versions of them, so some of them will be mixed, some of them can be progesterone only. We also would like to remind you that an ovary is the female gonad. So we had testes the last day for being the male gonad, and now we have ovary. So it's both female hormones are responsible for, firstly, you're born a girl because of them. So there's a little release of hormone while you're in the uterus, and that turns you into a girl. And in terms of the secondary sexual characteristics, it's the fact that females get breasts, their hips get wider, we have pubic hair and underarm hair, and there will be a growth spurt involved.